Good evening, everybody. My name is Jeremy Maville. I'm the Digital Marketing Manager for AAA Travel. We want to welcome you to tonight's webinar series. We're about to start. We know we have quite a few attendees tonight. We want to make sure that everybody has the chance to log in and get situated with the technology. So please stay with us. We're about 2 minutes away from starting tonight's presentation. All right, everybody, it seems that the majority of our attendees are starting to come in. Again, we want to welcome everyone to tonight's presentation. I'm really excited to introduce you to our host for the evening, Megan, who can kind of talk to you about what we can expect from tonight's series and introduce you to Donna, who's here with us tonight from Viking.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jeremy. Welcome, everyone. We are so excited to have you. And so basically how it's going to work, as Jeremy said, there are spots for some live questions. Donna Nightingale, who is our representative for Viking Cruise, she is going to go through her entire presentation on their new and exciting product on the Mississippi. And following that up, we will have some spots for questions. And one of my teammates, Stacy, she's going to kind of be going throughout the presentation. If you guys should have any questions or anything like that, feel free to enter those in and she will follow up at the end. And we'll go through any questions we have there. But like I said, we are so excited to have you guys with us. So excited that you were able to join. And without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and just hand it on over to Donna so she can get us going with the Mississippi.
Okay, hi everyone. I think Jeremy is going to turn my screen on, and I'll give that a second.
Yes, Donna, you should be good to go. We are seeing the Viking slide. Beautiful ship going under the bridge.
I can't see it.
Let me just take a look. So I could actually see a mouse hovering over it. So I think we could run it directly from your desktop, Donna.
Okay. So hang on a minute. There we go. I got it.
Perfect.
Hey, thank you very much. And thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, Jeremy, for helping and Meg for introducing me. And everyone, thank you for attending today. I hope you're all doing well during this crazy time and staying healthy. I just want to thank AAA for inviting me to do this webinar on the new itineraries that Viking has. They're on the Mississippi and the Great Lakes. We were discussing the new itineraries and we thought maybe some people were sitting home and this would be a good time to show them off to you. So we're going to do that tonight. Just to give you a little background on me, I am the Director of Business Development for Viking, and I've been here for 9 years now after having worked in the world of big cruise ships for over 20 years. And about 10 years ago, I went on a river cruise on the Danube, fell in love with small ship cruising and had to change my job. So here I am. I would say almost every day for the 9 years I've been asked, when are you going to do the Mississippi? So here we are. We're going to get started. I'm going to show you exactly what we have. And it's just really neat. You can see a picture of the ship right there. And we're going to get going. We're just going to talk for a few minutes. As you may know, Viking kind of invented the concept of modern river cruising when we started 23 years ago. We first started on the rivers of Russia, and then we moved into Europe on the Rhine and the Danube and all through France and Netherlands and all over. And But since then, many people have come to really appreciate this type of travel on river cruises, small ship cruising. But there's been very few options to do so on the American rivers. So starting in 2022, in 2 years from now, we will have our first ship on the Mississippi. And the Mississippi is over 2,000 miles long, and we will visit 7 states on our cruises. We have 4 different itineraries. One thing, just to give you a little background on Viking, we're really a destination-focused cruise line. We really just focus on the destination, the culture, and the small ship experience. Our Viking philosophy, we won't be everything to everyone. We know that, we're good with it. We focus on English speaking because we like everything in English on the ships. We tend to attract mature people with curious minds that are interested in history and culture and art. And we have a highly inclusive product. We're a very efficient operator. We do hire the best staff. We are known as a thinking person's cruise. We do a lot of lectures on our cruises. We also offer materials prior to sailing on our website so that you can learn a lot about where you're going before you even get there. So the thing is, as I mentioned, we're all about the destination and the culture. What that really means is we don't have a casino or a rock climbing wall or an ice skating rink or a bowling alley or kids. We are really designed for the destination and the culture, and that's really what we do. And I think that's one reason we have this really nice little niche in the industry, because we're the only one who sort of does that. This ship is designed to sail the Mississippi, and it's just specifically designed to sail the Mississippi. Takes into account the local climate, bridge heights, water levels, local landscapes. This ship has a Scandinavian design, just like our river and ocean ships. What does that mean? It means nice clean lines, soft colors, marbles, beautiful woods, a lot of windows for viewing and appreciating the great outdoors. So whether you've been on our river ships, our ocean ships, or if you're going to go on the Mississippi, we also have expedition ships in the Arctic and Antarctic. It's all the same. So if you've been on the river ships, it's going to be the same value on the oceans or the Mississippi or wherever. So it's really very easy to go from one product to another because you know exactly what it's going to be like when you get on the ship. So what do we include on all of our itineraries? We include 1 shore excursion in each port led by a knowledgeable guide. We have the Quiet Box headsets, which is a receiver with an earbud so that you can sync up to the tour guide. And, you know, that way if you're walking down the street, you can hear them. If you're in a cathedral, they're not yelling at you. At the end of the day, you take that receiver back to your stateroom and you charge it overnight and you bring it with you again for the next day. All the meals are included. Wine, beer, and soft drinks are included with lunch and dinner. All the specialty coffees and teas, bottled water is always included, free Wi-Fi, and we even have laptops on the ship so you don't need to bring yours. All port charges and government taxes are included in the price of the cruise, so there's no extras. So I mentioned the shore excursions included in each port. So a shore excursion can be a half-day tour, or it could be a full-day tour. It just depends where we are. And we do try to have a focus on the local life, the working world, and a little bit of privileged access. So the ship's not coming out for 2 years, but we do have a little bit of information already for you. And I'll give you a few examples. The local life. To give you an example of that, we'll visit the John Deere Pavilion and the John Deere family homes up in the Quad Cities. We're also going to take you to some beautiful historic homes, plantation homes. We'll also do a chef-hosted luncheon at the famous restaurant 1818 in Natchez. As far as the working world, well, we're going to visit an operating dairy farm. And I can tell you, I went to college in Nebraska, and a lot of my friends grew up on dairy farms. I found it fascinating. It was like walking into another world. And we'll also visit the Anheuser-Busch Brewery in St. Louis and privileged access. Well, we are Viking, therefore we need to take you to the Norwegian American Museum, and you can really see the experience the Norwegians had immigrating to America. Another privileged access is we have a special Cajun heritage tour in Baton Rouge. So it just gives you a little bit of an idea of what we're trying to accomplish during the cruise and give you a really great experience. Okay, here's a picture of our beautiful ship. I'm so excited to show this ship off. I can't even tell you. And I think we've been waiting a long time for this. This is our beautiful ship, 193 staterooms and 386 guests. And as we said earlier, Scandinavian design. She's being built right now in Louisiana and should be the largest and the most modern cruise ship in the region. I think she's going to change cruising on the Mississippi totally. There's no paddle wheel. It's just a modern cruise ship. There's 5 decks. And as I said earlier, cruising in 2022, but available for reservations now. I thought what would be good is I'm just going to talk about the itineraries first, and then I'll show you the pictures of the ship. So this is the first slide here of the itineraries. This is a map of where the itineraries are located. So we're going to go from the lower Mississippi all the way up, so New Orleans all the way up to St. Paul. You can see on this map there's 4 itineraries. 3 of them are 8 days, 1 is a 15-day. So on the southern Mississippi, we have the Southern Celebration and the Heart of the Delta. And on the northern Mississippi, we have America's Heartland. And then there's one 15-day that goes from St. Paul all the way down to New Orleans. I'm going to give you a little more information on that. So first of all, the Heart of the Delta is New Orleans to Memphis, and this is an 8-day with 5 ports with guided tours. The next one is the Southern Celebration, New Orleans round trip. That's 8 days, 6 ports with guided tours, and you're in New Orleans overnight. Next, you'll see America's Heartland. This is St. Louis to St. Paul. This is 8 days, 6 ports with guided tours. And the last one is the 15-day St. Paul to New Orleans, 11 ports with guided tours. Just to show you these itineraries, because I'm not going to go through them all stop by stop, but I just want you to see where they go. The first one is the Heart of the Delta, so New Orleans to Memphis, Tennessee. So on this one, you're going to visit Louisiana, Mississippi, and you end up in Tennessee. The next one is America's Heartland, St. Louis to St. Paul, and you will see Missouri, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. Next, you will see the Southern Celebration. That's an 8-day round trip New Orleans and visiting Louisiana and Mississippi. The last one is the 15-day, and this is St. Paul to New Orleans. And on this one, you will see Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Missouri, Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana. So you're going to see the whole middle of the United States. So some good news and some bad news. We're starting in 2022, and we opened this for reservations about 4 weeks ago, and this one sold out in about 1 week. We even added extra days, extra sailings, and they sold out too. So everything on that was sold out. A couple of days ago, we opened up 2023 so that if you were interested in this, you could grab one of those sailings in 2023. And some of the 8 days are selling really fast too, so some of those are also open for 2023, just so everybody can get what they want. So I thought what I would do is just highlight a few of the places that we go. And oh, here's one more map there for you. And I thought I would highlight some of the places that we go. I'm not going to go to all of them, but just gives you an idea. And these are kind of splattered across all 4 different itineraries. So the first one that I'll show you is La Crosse, Wisconsin. And so you always get up in the morning and have your breakfast, and then you'll meet your tour guide and start your tour. La Crosse, Wisconsin is where 3 rivers meet right here at Riverfront Park, and there's a lot of places on the National Registry of Historic Places. So we give you a panoramic tour of the city, and La Crosse is very much like an open-air museum. It's got a lot of architectural landmarks. Right along the river, there's all these beautiful statues, and they line the waterfront. And then we also take you up to Grandad Bluffs, which is where you have a scenic view of 3 states, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa. I have friends who live there and they just love that whole place. And next, another stop we go to is Quad Cities, Iowa. And as I mentioned earlier, this is where we will include a tour of the John Deere Pavilion. And it's really created as sort of a celebration of their architectural heritage. And John Deere changed the way we farm, and there's a lot of historical significance. And so we also take you to the John Deere family homes. Another stop that we go to is Hannibal, Missouri, best known as the birthplace of Mark Twain and the setting of his Adventures of Tom Sawyer and Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. And so we give you a tour here. It's called The World of Mark Twain, so that you can hear all the stories. You can see where he lived. You'll hear all about Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn, Becky Thatcher, and Injun Joe, if you can remember that. It might be good to read the book again, or one of the books before you go. I think that's kind of a fun thing to do. Another stop that we go to is St. Louis, Missouri, and we do give you a panoramic tour here, and St. Louis is known as the gateway to the West. It's really an interesting city because there's a real wide array of architectural buildings. So, among them you'll have the Cathedral Basilica of St. Louis. It has a 41 million piece mosaic. The Renaissance Revival City Hall. There's a 19th century old courthouse, of course, the beautiful arch, and a ride along Market Street. A couple excursions also here. We have a tour of the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. That's one of the oldest breweries in America. And another one is a tour of the National Blues Museum, and that celebrates blues as the foundation of all modern American music. Another stop, which I would just love to go to because I haven't been here yet, is the Memphis, Tennessee is the Queen of the South and the birthplace of Memphis blues, which was popular back in the vaudeville days. Andrew Jackson co-founded the city in 1819, but I think the included tour here is fabulous. It is, now, okay, maybe I'm dating myself, but that's why I'm so excited about it, a deluxe Graceland tour. So we visit the famous estate of Elvis Presley. I would consider this a rock and roll pilgrimage to Graceland, and it's filled with his memorabilia, and you can see what it feels like to be immersed in his world. So I think that would just be pretty exciting. Another stop we go to is Vicksburg, Mississippi. And this is a town with a lot of Southern tradition. It's rich in history, especially the Civil War history. And Abraham Lincoln called it the key to the South. But the Battle of Vicksburg is where the Confederates surrendered to Ulysses S. Grant. So our tour here gives you a tour of the Vicksburg National Military Park. Next, we have a tour of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Hopefully without that alligator, or hopefully we won't see that alligator. But Baton Rouge is set on the eastern bank of the Mississippi, and this is the heart of Cajun culture. And of course, the locals' favorite dish is gumbo, so you need to try that. And we have a panoramic tour of Baton Rouge to see all the sights, but also this gives you a lot of insight into the Cajun people and their contributions to Louisiana's history and culture. And we do have another tour here, that's the Cajun Heritage Tour, and that takes you to the Rural Life Museum, and that gives you a little bit more in-depth information and view of the Cajun culture, and you can also try authentic Cajun cuisine here. And the last place I thought I would just mention is New Orleans. And this really is a embarkation or debarkation port for us. And on all of these cruises that we have, if you wanted to come in early or stay late, there's a 1, 2, or 3 night extension available. And but it's first come, first serve, of course. So we do have those all scheduled and already in the system to be booked. We do. If you've never been to New Orleans, it was founded by French colonists back in 1718, but as I always say, it's where jazz and jambalaya mix with all this French culture. So it's quite eclectic. It's got amazing music, and you have to have a beignet on Jackson Square. Just have to. It's worth every calorie. So that kind of gives you an idea of where we're going to go, and I thought next we would now talk about the ship. All right, so this is a picture of our beautiful Viking Mississippi, purpose-built for the Mississippi and under construction in Louisiana. Has 5-deck Scandinavian design, and I'm going to show you the ship and some of the areas of the ship and even some of the cabins. All right, the first slide I'll show you is the reception area. And I got to tell you, I don't usually show pictures of staircases because they're usually not that interesting, but I thought the backdrop was really unique. It's on the wall behind the stairs is an excerpt of Mark Twain's famous Huckleberry Finn novel, and it's the backing of the 5-deck staircase. I think that's pretty clever, and I thought it was kind of fun to show. Next, we have the living room. If you've been on our ocean ships, you may know this concept. It's kind of a gathering place for guests on deck 1. It's small areas with couches. It's designed for socializing, relaxing, and entertainment. We usually have a duo or trio playing and snacks 24/7. So it's a nice, comfortable spot. Moving on to food, very important part of our vacation, I think. The first place you'll see is the restaurant, and this is where you can have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And breakfast generally runs 7 to 9 at your leisure, lunch 12 to 2, and dinner is 5 to usually around 10 o'clock. And we change the menu daily, and we feature regional cuisine, and we have always available American classics and fresh local vegetables. Next, you'll see the River Cafe, and this is indoor-outdoor dining on the top deck, and we'll serve American classics, and it's kind of an alternative restaurant with a casual al fresco setting. And if you've been on our ocean ships, we have a world cafe on the ocean ships, but this next picture of the same River Cafe shows you the inside area. So lunch and dinner, you have wine and beer and soft drinks are included. The waiter can serve you because they come around, or you can just walk up to the bar and get it, or you can sit at the bar and talk with other people, or you can go and order a martini, whatever you want. It's there. But this is the indoor-outdoor area that takes you from the indoor area of the River Cafe, and I already showed you the outdoor area where you can sit outside. And if you've been on our river ships or our ocean ships, we have an aquavit terrace on all of our ships. And the aquavit, well, if you don't know what aquavit is, it's kind of a Norwegian liqueur. I will be kind and say it's an acquired taste, but it is kind of a salute to our owner's heritage as he is Norwegian. So the aquavit terrace is sort of very much a loved place for many of our guests, and it will be on the top deck. It's a casual dining area with regionally inspired barbecue cuisine and American fare. And I think there's nothing better than sitting on the top deck, having dinner, looking at the lights from the shore with a glass of wine. I think that's a little slice of heaven to me. Next, we have, if you've been on the ocean ships, you'll recognize this. This is the Explorer Lounge. The Explorer Lounge is a 2-story, and it's a sun-filled area because it has floor-to-ceiling windows, and it's just a nice spot to sit and take in the views. If you see on the left side in front of those windows is an outdoor seating area also, and that is called the bow. So you can go from inside to outside. There's a bar there, so if you wanted a cup of coffee or if you wanted a cocktail, it's all right there for you, and the bar will be open. And then you can sit there during the day, and here's another shot of the upper level of the Explorer Lounge. And one last thing I wanted to show you for public areas is our sun terrace with infinity plunge pool. And this is similar to, again, to the ocean ships, where it's a glass back pool. It's at the back of the ship, so you can take a dip and be fully surrounded by all these beautiful views. That's pretty nice. All right, we're going to move on to the staterooms next. So as on all of our ships, we always have outside staterooms, and we have 7 different categories. They range from 268 square feet up to over 1,000. All have king size beds, which can be divided, you can split them up into 2 twins. But we have king size beds, luxury linens. We have large flat screen TVs that are interactive. We have a mini bar. All staterooms have a mini bar. It just depends on the category as to what's in the mini bar. We have large glass enclosed shower. We have our signature, because we always have this, heated bathroom floors, so it's just like home. And we have 24-hour room service. So I thought I would show you some pictures. The first picture you'll see is the French balcony. It's 301 square feet. This stateroom has sliding glass doors so that you can have the view. You can open the door and get some fresh air, but you can't step out. There's a railing there. So there is no balcony on this. It's a French balcony, so you have the view and the air, and you have 301 square feet. Now, every other category I show you will have a full balcony. So the next stateroom you'll see is a veranda and deluxe veranda. These are 268 square feet, and they have a full balcony. The next stateroom you'll see is a penthouse veranda. This is 324 square feet. Next, you'll see the penthouse junior suite. This is 400 square feet. Next is the terrace suite. This is 425 square feet. This has a living area, a small area for dining, and 2 flat screen TVs, and of course, a very large balcony. And last, we have the Explorer Suite. We have 10 of these, and they range, depending on what one you get, 650 up to 1,000 square feet. They have a wraparound veranda. And all the suites get early stateroom access, and they have welcome champagne, laundry, pressing, shoe shine service, things like that are included. And but I would like to just let you know, on decks 2, 3, and 4, we also have laundry. So if you wanted to do your own, we have washer dryers with detergent, and there's no charge for that. But if you wanted to send it out with your room steward, you can. There is a charge. I just don't have that information yet. So that kind of gives you an idea of the Mississippi, where we're going, and the ship that we have going there, and that starts in 2022. We will switch gears now, and we're going to talk about the Great Lakes. But when we talk about the Great Lakes, we're talking about our expedition ships, which will totally make sense in a minute. We have 2 ships being built right now, the Viking Octanus and the Viking Polaris, and they are designed for expedition cruising. So that means that they will be doing the Arctic and Antarctic and a few other itineraries where they reposition up the East Coast and all the way down across from Arctic to Antarctic, things like that. These 2 ships hold 378 guests, 260 crew. That's a high guest crew ratio, and the reason is these are expedition ships. So they have other staff members on. They have geologists, glaciologists, ornithologists, photographers for lectures and workshops, our regular crew, and we also have crew to run the watercraft, which I'm going to explain in a minute and show you. Just to show you some pictures of the ship, the first picture will be the Atrium, and that's, a place to just sit and meet people. There's a bar there and some food 24/7. And as you saw on the Mississippi ship, we have the living room, and this is located higher on this ship to maximize the views. There's floor-to-ceiling windows here. And next, I thought I would teach you a new word today. The word is aula. You'll see that on the top, A-U-L-A. Aula means auditorium in Norwegian. So this auditorium is the world's most advanced venue for learning at sea. The Aula is a beautiful panoramic alfresco auditorium. So it's inspired actually by the University of Oslo. They have a ceremonial hall, which was the former venue of the Nobel Peace Prize ceremony. So we will use this for lectures, daily briefings, films. It's a really neat laser projector panoramic screen. But here's the cool part. The screen that you see there can retract up into the ceiling. And when you're sitting there, it opens to the great outdoors and to spectacular views. And all those windows do open also. And then this opens to the Finsay Terrace right there, which is a beautiful, comfortable seating area with 270-degree views of nature all around you and 2 heated lava stone fire pits to keep you warm. We have an Explorer Lounge, just like you saw in the Mississippi, 2 stories. And then we have another Aquavit Terrace. So I think you need to try some Aquavit when you're on our ships. And then we have 3 pools. So this is kind of interesting. It's a trio of pools, each at different temperatures. And there's an indoor-outdoor pass-through, and it has a retractable roof for year-round use. We have a beautiful spa with those beautiful floor-to-ceiling windows on the left side there so that you can sit in that beautiful water and look out at the views. And we even have a fitness center here with a choice of treadmills, there's ellipticals, stationary bikes, weight machines, or you can just go in here and enjoy the sauna. We also have our signature snow grotto. We have that on the ocean ships where it snows on demand. Now, if you're in the Northeast, maybe that's not so much fun for you, but what is kind of neat is you can go into the snow grotto and then right next to it is the warming cave. So it's really supposed to be good for your circulation. So I think the really key thing on these ships is that it's, to me, it's luxury meets research, and our owner is concerned about the environment. So he has invited some really notable research groups to come on and do research while we are sailing. So if you're on the ship and they are on, you are welcome to learn about what their research is. Maybe you can even help them. So some of that will be done here. There's a few different areas of the ship where they'll be doing research, but this is also an area where you can come and learn about your excursions and getting on and off the ship, things like that. This is our marina. So you don't have to climb over the side of the ship to get into watercraft. So we have a marina inside the ship down below, and what we will be carrying is 16 Zodiacs and 17 kayaks, 2 ribs, 2 yellow submarines, because our owner's favorite band is the Beatles. And you can board your watercraft right here, and then you slide right out into the ocean. I think that's really neat. I'm just going to show you some of the staterooms. So even though we're talking Arctic, Antarctic in the pictures here, this is the same for the Great Lakes. So the staterooms, we don't have regular balconies because it's going to be kind of cold. So they wanted to put in floor-to-ceiling windows where the top window comes down and you can get some fresh air if you'd like it. But they place these beautiful couches right in front of the windows so that you could not miss any of this beautiful scenery. The smallest stateroom we have is 222 square feet. Next, you'll see the Nordic penthouse, and this is 269 square feet. Then we have a Nordic Junior Suite, which is 322 square feet. We also have an Explorer Suite, that's 580 square feet. And last, we have the Owner's Suite, and that's 1,200 square feet with a very nice jacuzzi over on the right side of the deck. All staterooms have a floor-to-ceiling drying closet, so if you're out and about and your jacket gets wet, you bring it back and you just put it right in there and it dries it for you. We have the main restaurant where you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This has beautiful views, not that you can see them in that picture, but there are beautiful views there, and we'll do regional cuisine and, you know, always available classics, and you'll be surrounded by those beautiful views. Also, we have Manfredi's. That's our signature Italian restaurant. That's on our ocean ships. They're known for their homemade pasta and ribeye steaks, so that will also be available on this ship. And then we have our World Cafe, and You'll have live cooking here. It's an open kitchen concept and premium seafood and sushi and a grill. And as you can see right in the middle there is gelato. So everything's good. We have gelato. I'll just show you the itineraries for the Arctic and Antarctic since we're here. On the Antarctic, we have round trip Ushuaia for 13 days. And then on the Arctic, we have round trip Tromsø, Norway for 13 days. And you can also go Tromsø down to Ushuaia for 44 days. And then there's some that come up the East Coast so that, you know, to get you up to when we go to the Great Lakes. So if you were looking for something kind of unique, a repositioning type of cruise, we have that also. So in the off season, from the when they're doing the Arctic, Antarctic, where do they go? Ta-da, the Great Lakes. So the Great Lakes, there's 5 lakes between Canada and the US, and it's the largest freshwater ecosystem in the world and contains 20% of the world's fresh water and provides drinking water to 40 million people. Lake Superior is the largest, the coldest, and the deepest. But here's the interesting thing is the Great Lakes have sea-like qualities. So they have rolling waves, they're deep, they have strong currents. So these expedition ships are perfect. What they do is they designed the ship so that it can fit through the St. Lawrence Seaway, and you can see hopefully a picture there of the Welland Canal locks up in Ontario, and that makes exploring the Great Lakes possible. 4 different itineraries. The first is a 13-day New York to Toronto, and the rest are all 8 days. So the first one you'll see is Niagara and the Great Lakes. This is Toronto to Milwaukee, and I love this one because it goes to Niagara on the lake, which is the Canadian side of Niagara Falls. It's about 4 miles from the border, and there's a woman who left money to the town, and they use the interest every year and make these beautiful floral displays. So people come from all over to see that. Anyway, and then you also go up and see Mackinac. So I think that this is a really neat itinerary. This one also, Milwaukee up to Thunder Bay. Somebody told me one day that a lot of good hockey players come out of Thunder Bay. And then Thunder Bay to Milwaukee also. That's another 8 days. So there's 1 13 and 3 8-day itineraries. These are our scientific partnerships. Scott Polar Group, Cornell Lab of Ornithology, NOAA, and University of Cambridge. Now we go to 7 continents, 95 countries, 403 ports, 5 oceans, 20 rivers, and 5 Great Lakes. And I wanted to just let you know about this because if you were inclined to book a cruise soon on the Mississippi or the Great Lakes, we have a risk-free guarantee that expires May 31st. So what that means is you need to be booked prior to May 31st to qualify for this. And then it's basically allows you to have peace of mind. It allows you to change your cruise date up to 24 hours before your planned departure. And you would get a future cruise voucher for travel within the next 24 months. So, but you do need to be booked by May 31st in order to have that. And next, in almost, I think my last thing is AAA has a member benefit on these. It's $100 a person shipboard credit. By booking with AAA, and AAA is awesome. They've got great agents, I can tell you that. I think almost all of them, and they are amazing. And here is your information on calling AAA, and I think Stacy is going to get back on.
Yes, thank you so much, Donna. That was incredible. I don't know about you guys, but I know exactly where my next vacation is going to be, and I think we're all ready for one. So just as a reminder, you can enter, we are getting some questions in. You can click the Q&A section on the lower left-hand corner to type in your questions so that we can serve that up for you guys. We did have a couple of questions come in. The first question was, if I am interested in a 2022 sailing, when should I book? That's a great question, and Donna can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe for 2022, that 15-day for the Mississippi is already sold out for 2022. And the 8 days are selling out really fast. So you definitely don't want to miss out, especially with that risk-free guarantee right now.
Right. I think that I hate to push people into booking, but if you want the Mississippi for 2022, soon is good.
Yeah.
Soon is really good.
Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah. You don't want to miss out on that. That looks like such a wonderful itinerary. Another question that we received is there a member benefit when you book with AAA? And Donna just showed that slide. So based on your sailing, there's some awesome AAA member benefits. So in addition to getting our incredible agents who are experts in all things Viking, and having somebody there to really be your advocate and help piece these wonderful trips together for you, you're getting an awesome benefit that's exclusive to AAA on top of that. So that's wonderful. All right, we'll give it a couple more minutes for any other questions to come in. Just a follow-up to this, incredible travel agents will follow up with you guys in the upcoming days just to answer any remaining questions that you have and to help you start planning what is sure to be an unforgettable vacation, which I think we are all due for at this point. I want to thank Donna again for giving us a glimpse into these incredible itineraries and ships. I cannot wait to get on the Mississippi. I am so excited. And I want to thank all of you for just spending some time and some of your evening with us. I really appreciate it. Looks like we have another question. What is Viking doing to address safety and sanitation in their cabins on the ships? Donna, I'm going to send that one over to you if you'd like to answer that.
We're going to come out with a press release on that in the next few weeks. So I don't want to, we obviously have always done an amazing job of keeping the ships clean. But of course, now everything goes to a different level. So they're going to come out with that as a press release. So I'm going to let them do that officially versus telling you what I know so far. So I'll let that, we'll have to wait on that one.
Perfect. And we have another question in here. Is there any single supplement on the 8-day Great Lakes or any deals for solo travelers?
At the moment, no, it's just selling very fast. So we are just, maybe, if, later on there might be one, but not at the moment. There is not.
Okay. That's a really good question. I'm just going to give it another minute just in case we have any more last minute questions coming in here. All right, it looks like we got to everybody's questions. So again, thank you so much, Donna, for taking the time.
Thanks everyone for being here too. I really appreciate it, and thanks to AAA.
No, thank you. We appreciate it, and we thank all of you for spending some of your evening with us, and we really look forward to having you here for our next virtual event. I hope everybody has a great night.
All right, ladies, what a great presentation. Again, this is Jeremy. I'm the digital marketing manager for AAA Travel here in the Rhode Island office. What I'd like to do too is remind everyone that this is our first webinar in a 3-part series. So please, if you would like to learn more, reach out to your travel agents. Tomorrow night we'll be hosting an additional webinar. You can find information on that at our AAA.com/travel. We'll have an additional session with Donna, and then our third in the series is Friday morning. And all that information, again, can be found on our website. So again, thank you for tuning in this evening, and we hope to see you again later this week.